What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran, and I help people using a spiritual perspective. One of the things that comes up a lot for me, and I think just a lot of people in general on a spiritual journey, is the tendency to gravitate towards outside influences. And for better or for worse, you can call them angels, spirit guides, ancestors, passed on loved ones, ghosts. It doesn't really matter, right? A lot of people who go through this sort of awakening process or find themselves in some realm of spirituality often will rely upon spirit guides. This concept of there being some kind of mystical spiritual help, right? Now, this is not a video about whether or not that's true or fake or false. I've certainly had positive experiences and negative experiences with all kinds of concepts. So that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is more about the abandonment that I think a lot of people go through when it comes to the outside help, when it comes to angels or spirit guides or something of that nature, right? So you start your spiritual awakening journey, you learn all this information, your perspective is expanded, and then you kind of form some kind of relationship. Maybe you learn some names, you do some meditations, you start connecting with them in some ways. And as you do, you get signs, you get synchronicities, maybe at times you feel them, you feel connected to them, you feel connected to something larger than yourself, and it takes you through your journey, at least initially, up until a certain point. And then when you reach that point, you kind of lose contact with them. You lose a sense of reliability, like dependability, like you can't really rely on them to give you answers anymore, right? A lot of people go through this. I've gone through it. It seems to be a very natural stage where at some point the life that you're living, the things that you're doing, the experiences that you've had, they're just a little bit too much to be handled by the sort of cursory, flippant kind of like, oh, spirit guides, please help me, and then give me all the signs and then just fix everything. And that's kind of where the crux of the problem is. So many times I've kind of stared up at the heavens or the skies or just been crying or felt totally abandoned and lost and upset about whatever is going on in my life. And I would ask spirit guides for assistance, for help, and I would receive absolutely zero, at least perceived. I wouldn't receive the type of help and the type of guidance and synchronicities I would have gotten 3 or 4 years ago, right? And there's an important reason why. And this is just how I'm perceiving it and how I feel about it. So you don't have to trust everything that I'm saying, but I am a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes, so trust me? I think that's what they said in the 1930s in a certain country in Europe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that we lose faith because in a way we're kind of meant to. There's a lot of, let's say, bullshit that exists around us in any given day, not even just spiritual bullshit, but just bullshit in general, just things that we go through, things that we have to deal with, and it accumulates. It accumulates up until a certain point where it's not really about getting tiny bits of help anymore. It's about getting a full-bodied, empowered sort of help. You really have to pull yourself out of something. And any parent who truly loves you and any friend who truly loves you, the unconditional love doesn't really come from doing everything for someone else. It comes from giving, kind of inspiring them or motivating them in a way, but allowing them to do their own thing, to just support them. Like, I got a friend who really, really needs a job right now. I can't give them a job. I wish I could. I wish that I had something I could do for them. I feel totally hopeless and useless. What I can do for them is listen to them complain, buy them a beer, something like that, right? And that's kind of in a sense where spirit guides often are going to end up, because they can't do the things that you really truly need to do. They have nothing to do with that, right? You're depressed, you're sad, you have bad habits, you're going through some emotional things, you feel useless, you feel rejection, you feel pain, you feel grief from weeks ago, months ago, years ago. Spirit guides, if they are going to exist and they do care about you, then they're going to take a step back and they're going to say, yeah, this is up to you. There's only so much that anything outside of you can do. And within spirituality, specifically New Age spirituality, a lot of people are relying on outside influences to get things done. They're relying on the ideas of promises to make them feel better. But you're going to get to a point where it just doesn't work, where praying to your spirit guide for some kind of absolution is not going to save you, right? It's why so many people, atheists or agnostics or religious people, so many people just on the other side of it would have prayed for God and then heard nothing, right? And they would have said, all right, well, I may as well just take care of this myself because I can't wait on something else to solve my problems, right? So if you're wondering, why would a spirit guide abandon me? It's not so much about being abandoned. It's more about finding the courage to do things yourself. And anybody that truly cares about you would want you to be able to do that, right? I mean, as you grow, it's you don't really want to be taken care of anymore. Like a part of you will always feel like it's not good enough. Like you need to be the one to actually be confident again, to find yourself, to understand the clarity. And relying on the outside influences is just, it just doesn't cut it at some point. You need to go within. And the more that you ask for help outside of yourself, the less you're relying on yourself. And at some point, whether it's a real life physical being or an entity of some spiritual positive nature or energy that's on your side, however you want to define a spirit guide or angel, at some point that they're not going to be able to do that for you, right? You need to be the one that goes within. The more that you rely on the outside stuff, the less that you can see what's going on within you. And any person, physical or like I said, non-physical, they're going to want to actually let you do that yourself. It's, what's that stupid expression? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't shoot it in the face. I don't think that's how the expression goes, but it's something. There's an expression about, or the teaching the man how to fish, but don't have sex with his wife. I feel like I'm getting all of these sayings incorrect, but you know what I'm trying to say. There's this idea of you need to, yeah, you could keep giving a guy fish every day, but it would be better if he could just fish himself, right? That's that expression, and I think it applies to this whole idea of spirit guides and angels and stuff like that. There's only so much you can really get, but if you really are struggling to, and you're at this point in your spiritual journey where the last real step is the self-care, like truly taking care of yourself, then just based upon that sentence alone, you know that the outside help is not actually going to come. It's going to have to come from within. And that's difficult and it's scary. And the hardest thing anybody can do is meditate and sit on their bed and do nothing, don't distract themselves. It's incredibly difficult to do that. And yet that is the thing that is required the most in order to pull yourself up out of the depths of your own despair. No other entity and no other physical being can do that for you.